What is going on? It is Turkey Week Tuesday. That's how we determine things around here because we like food. Just deal with life. And it's another edition of the Mike Arana Show. So many things to talk about. We've got new rankings. Speaking of turkeys and Thanksgiving, we've got some trivia. We've got a draft tonight that has to do with your Thanksgiving dinner. Who doesn't love a good draft? I know TJ and I always love a good draft, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I've got a Thanksgiving rankings bone to pick, if you will, with Vegas Mac on something from the Mac 12 this week that I think a couple people will agree with me on. We've got basketball. We've got basketball tournaments in front of nobody. We've got a basketball tournament in Hawaii that has nobody there because of the tournament there's chaos going on. We'll just leave it at that, and we'll start with there. And we'll start in the middle. TJ, what's going on, my brother, on this Tuesday evening?
Well, since the day before Thanksgiving is historically the biggest drinking night of the year, I thought that I would get started a day early.
Salud. Vegas Mac. Fresh. I love that from the U.S. Open. I hated it at L.A. Country Club, but that logo for it was so clean. Mm-hmm. So clean. Very well done on your shirt tonight, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, and doing what I can to, make us, hoity-toity.
Hoity-toity, huh? Is where we go. Plenty of people already commenting along. That's what we want to see tonight. We appreciate all y'all out there. Michael checking in. Yeah, here it is. Take your screenshots, send out your holiday cards. Do us a favor and send them out for us. Hey, ready, guys? 3, 2, 1. Let's give a holiday card pose. There you go. If you didn't screenshot that, we tried to market ourselves and help your holiday cards.
I think
speaking of Thanksgiving stuff here, hold on a sec, T. Pine nuts in stuffing, acceptable, or is that a bold strategy, Cotton? That comes from our guy Roz. You got Roz. I'm don't care if they're in there, but don't intentionally put pine nuts in my stuffing. TJ, how do you use nuts and stuffing together for Thanksgiving?
Well, if it's going to be nuts and stuffing, it might have to go in the butt there. I don't know some people.
He pointed at you, Mac. You missed it. Your head was down.
Some people
Sorry.
Are out of the butt guys, and some people are in the butt guys. And I know if it's nuts, I want it in the butt.
Yep. There you go. You just defined the entire Philadelphia Eagles playbook for you in one sentence right there. And I agree with Michael checking in here. Keep it traditional. Let's keep it traditional as far as the start of the show goes. Plenty of stuff tonight. As I said, we'll talk about the new college football rankings that came out here as we head towards rivalry week. We also got a little turkey trivia. We've got a Thanksgiving draft. Liquid locks on a Tuesday this week because there is no show tomorrow. But there is a show recently added to the mix on Friday, a Football Friday show. Because when you look at Friday's football schedule, especially obviously on the college side, but even the Black Friday football game with TJ's Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles, we've got a loaded Friday. So bright ass early, 8 a.m. on the West Coast, 11 a.m. on the East Coast. TJ will be preoccupied. So Mac and myself will take you through a Football Friday, traditionally a blast from the past on the show. But guys, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I'm going to start with a graphic, shall we? In the hockey world, and let's make sure everybody can see this graphic because this is where I want to start. In a numbers game as this early NHL season continues to roll along. As you see here, This is from NHL Europe on Instagram. I totally stole this from them because I was lazy today. At the top, you see the Colorado Avalanche, 37 points so far in the season. At the bottom, you see the Nashville Predators at 16. Well, Barry Trotz, please pick up the get your ass back to the bench phone. What's interesting about this is I wanted to get your guys' take on this. And it's not Wednesday, but we're going to puck around on a Tuesday. 37 points for Colorado, as you see the next line on there, and this was entering play tonight. 30 points for the Canes, Max, Carolina Hurricanes, and 30 points for Max, Dallas Stars, those of you that thought he wasn't on the Stars early last year. If you know, you know. But then you go all the way down, guys, to 23, which is the delineating mark between first and second. It's also the delineating mark between second and the majority of the rest of the league. So as we sit here going into Thanksgiving, T, I'll start with you. What's the first thing that this point layout across the league, what jumps out to you or what speaks to you off of that?
Well, what speaks to me first is how bad the Predators are. Like, they're bad. I watched the game the other night against Colorado, and they got a ton of chances, but you never felt like they were going to break through. They were they got 21 shots, I believe, in the first period, but none of them were high, like in the danger areas, and they were handled by Blackwood very easily. And Barry Trotz gave Andrew Burnett the dreaded vote of confidence and said, I need effing more from my players. And then the report comes out that they're listening to offers on Marchessault and Stamkos, which indicates that they are in tank for Gavin McKenna mode already.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a very fair assessment. Why don't you have a drink after that one? Mac, what jumps off of this graphic to you in the same light? Unmute your microphone.
Darn it.
That's one for the turkey jar.
There you go. I just like the middle, how heavy it is. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams at 25 points. I think that's good for the league. I think when you have, you have all these teams within, 5 or 6 points of each other, it's a nice 2 or 3 game win streak where you can kind of move up or down. I think that's really, really good for the league. You don't have too many outliers. So you don't feel anybody. I mean, Colorado's kind of running away, but other than that, I mean, nobody's really, you don't have 2 or 3 teams pulling away. I just like that, the bulk in the middle. I think that's really good for the league.
Yeah. Michael checking in there. Down with the Mammoth. Bring back the Coyotes. All of us here in the desert want to see hockey back here, and they will be the Coyotes, just like the Seattle Sonics should be brought back and be called the Sonics, and that should have happened 7 days ago. Yesterday, Adam Silver. The NHL continues to do this, guys, and I'll get this out of the... Well, I mean, maybe our face is not as big on the screen is better for people, but the NHL continues to do their marvelous shit in your pants. It's so ridiculous the way the schedule works. Drew Livingstone on X today. 1 game today, 15 games tomorrow night, 0 on Thursday, 15 games on Friday. Like, where in the marketing department and everything else are we missing this NHL? I still don't get this. You got Ross checking back in, Los Tiburones de San Jose. Yeah, that's the fun thing for me. I don't have to scroll to the bottom of anything to find the Sharks this year. But the NHL's marketing department, the NHL schedule makers, Mac, they continue to just don the idiocy with bulk loading and not even like it's like, Mac, when I see it, we make the jokes, but they are legitimate now. The NFL has just said, screw it, NBA, we're taking over Christmas. The NHL is like, ooh, the NFL just did that to the NBA. I don't want to dip my toes in this water right now. It's what are we missing here in the scheduling department, Mac?
I mean, I totally understand. I mean, that they don't feel as though their audience is going to represent on a Thursday where it's going to be full of football. I mean, I kind of get that. I'm all right with that. I'll be honest with you. I mean, if they didn't have a break with the Olympics. If I were them, I would give them the weekend off. I mean, I really truly would. I'd let football go. I'd say we're going to play Wednesday night, and then that's it. You have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If I was the NHL, I would give them that off because let's be honest. As much as I like hockey and like to watch hockey, I mean, my Thursday, Friday, my focus is going to be football. And we have to remember too that going down the road, like in a lot of places, high school football on Thursday is a big thing. On the East Coast, those are the big rivalry games, and then out here you have a lot of the state championship games. So I mean, if you think about it, football is dominant Thursday, Friday. I don't think it's a big deal. Like I said, if they didn't have to compact the season because of the Olympics, I'd say just give them. You got it. This is your weekend. Take it, and then go from there.
Yeah, what's funny, T, is on Friday we have I think they're calling it the NHL Thanksgiving Showdown, which is Rangers and Bruins. And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't go to the schedule and see the overemphasized Thanksgiving Showdown. That's the day after Thanksgiving. We have these stadium series games, and I get that we use a lot of football stadiums. We kind of can't do that in November, but there's also ways we can get around that. The series that was just played in Sweden or Finland or where, it's just like, oh, cool, they're playing here when? Like, where are we missing the boat here? What's happening, Gary?
Well, it's just like the marketing is, and it's not a recent phenomenon. The marketing has been bad forever. Like when Crosby and Ovechkin first got in the league, it was bad, and it continues to be bad. And there doesn't seem to be any urgency to fix this problem. Like I knew that the Kings were playing the Ducks on Black Friday just because I looked at the schedule, not because there was some big advert that I could see on any of my social media that said, oh, by the way, this is happening on Friday. So this is just a problem that's been a problem and will continue to be a problem. I agree with Mac. I'd give them the weekend off. They do this at Christmas time. They might as well do it at Thanksgiving as well. But that 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks that they have off, yeah, that's kind of creating some problems. But to have 15 games on Wednesday, 15 Friday, and then 12 on Saturday, yeah, I don't know what's happening. And then 4 on Sunday. That makes no sense.
Yeah, and we'll finish up hockey here on this note. Like, the other laughable thing about the Thanksgiving Showdown the day after Thanksgiving is also it's just Rangers versus Bruins in Boston. It's not like they're playing at Yankee Stadium, which is readily available right now. Fenway Park, also readily available right now. Like, there's ways we can do this, they just do it. And, it is what it is. Mac, I'll give you the final word here, and then we'll move on from hockey.
I was going to say, I don't think Fenway is available. They used it last weekend for a Holy Cross football game. By the way, Holy Cross won.
Yeah, I'm sure the teardown from one set of high school bleachers took them a long time there. You're not going to stop with this. Folks, the amount of text messages that TJ and I have to filter through in the group text about UConn soccer, I feel like I know more about UConn soccer right now than I ever have in my life, because apparently Mac thinks we give a shit.
Well, but I know you do. There's a place in your heart that you were waiting. You were waiting on Sunday to find out that score of the second round game. You were waiting. I know. I could tell.
Yeah, absolutely. T, you were waiting too, weren't you?
Bated breath, baby.
Hey, I said I'm on a baseball moratorium until December, which is my typical thing every year. But to appease Mac so he continues to show up on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and everything, the Boston Red Sox made a trade today, acquiring Bulldog inning eater Sonny Gray from the St. Louis Cardinals. In return, St. Louis got back prospect Brandon Clark and my guy, right-hander Dick Fitz. Are you happy with Sonny Gray? We know you've bitched about the Red Sox rotation. I'm sure Sonny Gray doesn't sound off all the alarm bells, Vegas Mac, but you got another pitcher.
I've been reading about it all day. It honestly,
So full of shit.
no, I have. The trade is actually just. I don't think it's sitting well with a lot of the Red Sox fans. I feel this way. I have to wait and see what the final product is before I can tell if that is a good trade. If that is, it's like Christmas morning opening up your first gift and you open up a pair of underwear and you go, oh crap, look at this. You know, what do I got? I got a pair of underwear.
Yeah.
You know, but
Aw,
we
crap.
don't know. Yeah, you don't know what the
Used
rest.
underwear?
So you don't know what the rest of the presents are. I mean, and so that's before I can really tell you how I feel about it. I have to see what else they do. If that's their quote unquote number 2 starter that they were so happy to go after, then then I got a pair of underwear first for Christmas. If it's in addition to, you know, a Joe Ryan or a Scooble, and they sign a couple of bats, then it's a good move. So I'm just going to hold judgment. I don't think it's a bad move, but it's not a needle pusher. I mean, I'm not going out and get my Red Sox World Series tickets yet.
See, now in your situation, since let's update everybody on what's going on in Mike's baseball land and T's baseball land, a whole lot of jack shit right now. If you were to acquire Sonny Gray today, as an Angels fan, would that move the needle for you at all?
He would automatically become the number 2 starter behind Kikuchi if he was traded to the Angels. So in that sense, yes, but man, it's kind of tough when you have to give up Dick Fitz. You know, that's just. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I thought Dick was. I thought he would fit into the.
But maybe they
really
could
nicely.
replace Dick Fitz But maybe they could replace Dick Fitz with Dickie Lovelady and everybody'd be fine there. All right, let's move on to something else here before this thing really goes downhill. Before we get to the part of the show that's going to take it downhill. Joe Burrow has said he's not sitting if healthy, even with Cincinnati at 3-8. He is back under center on Thursday night for the Bengals against the Ravens, who are probably going, really, bro? You couldn't wait one more week because the 1,000 yards passing you had on us last year, we're not ready to handle. He's back. The Bills add Brandon Cooks at wide receiver today. And Carolina Panthers safety Trayvon Mooring was suspended for punching Jawan Jennings, to quote Kyle Shanahan, in the balls at the end of last night's game. Which one drives the most attention to you in NFL headlines today? I'll start in the middle with TJ.
The addition of Brandon Cooks is the biggest one, because that team, if they're going to keep benching Keon Coleman, they need someone to pick up the slack. And they seem to have been, we talk about how teams tend to go cheap on players at certain positions. Like we've talked about the Raiders going cheap everywhere. And we've talked about other teams. And it seems like the Bills made their choice by paying Josh Allen and they paid James Cook, but then they have receivers by committee, and that's not helping things. At least Brandon Cooks gives them a veteran presence that should stabilize the receiving core, and hopefully they can get this thing turned around.
Mac, which one jumps off the NFL page to you today? A good shot to the balls always does, but which one do you?
I think the same. I think it's something that Buffalo needs. This is a team that needs more help. It's kind of weird to think that they do, but they really do, especially on the defensive side, but on the offensive side as well. If they're going to have any chance to, even I guess make the playoffs at this point, because they're one of those teams that we just don't know. But I think that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think this is a fair point too by Michael here. Is like Burrow should just sit and relax the rest of the season. They're not going to make the playoffs. Most likely not. We've seen stranger shit happen, and we thought it was going to take a little while longer before Baltimore got the reins at the top of the North again, but Pittsburgh just went and opened the door for them. That's why we're going to analyze the AFC and NFC wildcards tonight, but let's go here. And let's start with college football. So we've got a lot going on this weekend. About a little less than an hour ago, we got the newest college football playoff rankings. And I am going to start our discussion right here based on what a viewer said on our YouTube channel. Again, you can find all our stuff at Mike Arana Show everywhere on social media, except for Snapchat. TJ, for the newbies tonight, this giving thanks time of the year, why are we not on Snapchat?
Well, Mike and Mac, I appreciate the opportunity to tell you that we're not on Snapchat because we're not 12 and Snapchat sucks.
There you go. No more direct way we can say this to you. Mac, you had Utah ranked ahead of BYU in the Mac-12 today. Mm-hmm. My bone to pick, and maybe it's a wishbone to be in the holiday spirit with you, is why are even you disrespecting my BYU Cougars at this point in the season?
I'm not disrespecting them. They're in the 12th spot. So quite honestly, whether you're 10 or 12, you're there. That's all that matters. What doesn't seem to matter is that I don't think either of them are going to play for a national championship. And that's the bottom line. I mean, I get it. I mean,
Vegas Max said so.
I mean, I get it. BYU beat Utah head to head. But I mean, when we do this, we take everybody's thoughts and ideas and we kind of put it together, and that's how we have it. It's just the way that they are. It's just, I mean. I don't see much difference between 10 and 12. Let's just put it that way. To me, you're splitting hairs at that point.
I can see that side of the argument. The difference between 10 and 12, though, is the fact that in this newest edition of the actual college football playoff rankings that are out tonight, top 5 stayed completely unchanged. It's still Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, and 5 at Texas Tech. The Ducks, Oregon, have leapfrogged Ole Miss, and this is obviously a point of contention as depending on which set of the tea leaves or which set of the South that you pay attention to, on Saturday, which is the day after the Egg Bowl, we're supposed to get decision 2025 from Lane Kiffin. And Hunter Yurachek, the chair of the College Football Playoff Committee, was asked very specifically about that thought that Lane Kiffin might not be coaching Ole Miss through the college football playoff. He says, it is in the protocol, but I'm not sure we will have a data point to use that as part of the protocol in referring to the potential departure of Lane Kiffin. Yurachek also went on to say, we will not have seen at our next rankings Ole Miss play without Lane Kiffin as their coach. It kind of sounds like the committee is setting Ole Miss up here. What do you think about that? Because I don't know if I totally agree with that, because we don't know that Lane Kiffin will not coach Ole Miss past that point, because that allegedly has been a sticking point in negotiations.
This whole thing is just gotten so out of hand. You've got a team here that has a legitimate shot of making a run in this playoff, and you're doing this with the coach. Are we serious here? This just adds to the bull crap that we have to deal with instant transfers and all this nonsense. So now we've got this coach that may or may not go, and we're holding the ranking responsible for him at this point. We can't do that. That's not fair to the kids, man. The kids are going to play no matter who's calling the shots here. In fact, I'd be willing to bet that if Kiffin isn't coaching, I bet these guys play harder to show Kiffin and try and cram it up his butt that he made a wrong decision.
Therefore, referencing the Philadelphia Eagles playbook again.
Yeah,
butt plays.
again.
Mac,
I
what
mean,
do you think about that? Because it sounds like they're setting it up that way.
Yeah, I mean, then you can, I guess, if that's the case, then I mean, North Texas should not be even thought of either, because their coach is leaving. So just if you're going to be that way, you got to be that way with everybody. So I mean, let's actually give that 12th spot to a team that deserves to be in that 12th spot. How about that? I mean, if that's the way we're going to go, let's just do that. I think that's kind of, as I've thought about this, guys, over the last couple of weeks. I think I'm just to the point, like with T, like give me the best 12. I don't screw around with the rankings. Don't tell me somebody is 12th in your rankings, but when you give me a bracket, they're 10th. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, give me the best 12 teams.
Right.
Let's just cut to the chase, or however many teams we're going to have, and let's not worry about who's coaching. Let's just worry about the product that's on the field and what we've seen from the product on the field. I mean, so if Kiffin comes out on Saturday and they win, lose, draw, whatever, and he goes, well, I'm going to LSU. So now all of a sudden, is BYU going to jump into that spot? They're going to take Ole Miss out now. Just Ole Miss, your coach is leaving, so we'll just put somebody else in there. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, so what are they going to do? Don't leave, Lane. Lane, don't leave, or your team's not going to make the playoffs. I mean, come on, really?
What if Lane Kiffin, God forbid, what if Lane Kiffin had an appendectomy tomorrow? Are you moving Ole Miss out of the 7 spot? I mean, think about it.
I think that's an extremely fair point.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing, just a different situation. One that he can't really control versus one that he can control. But what if he is in the hospital and can't coach? Are you moving Ole Miss out of this position? This is such a farce that I can't even see straight. That this is what the game that all three of us have loved for a long time. This is what this has come down to. And it's only going to get worse.
It feels to me, it kind of feels very elitist is what I kind of feel it is. I kind of just feel, I feel as though like the next 8 to 10 years,
says the UConn soccer fan, elitist. Yeah, keep going.
No, I don't think except for maybe 1 or 2 teams, you're going to have the same teams in there every single year. You're going to have 1 or 2. I mean, you may get a Penn State one year, you may get a Michigan one year, but that's it. These teams are going to be in there every year. They're just going to be kind of moved around a little bit. Texas Tech may fall out. Utah. I mean, it ultimately, to me, it feels broken. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel like it works.
I think you're right, and I think both of you are right here. And I kind of alluded to this morning on my video. I think there's 2 reasons why and this will lead me to my next point. I think there's 2 reasons why we get like this. We get like this every single friggin' year at this time of the year. There's 2 main culprits. Number 1 is the preseason rankings. So just listen to this right now. Texas, Penn State, Arizona State, South Carolina, Florida, Kansas State, and Boise State. Those are all teams in the preseason top 25. And I went in order, and it went in order from 1 and 2, Texas and Penn State. Mm-hmm. So here's the other interesting part of the debate. I think that's number 1. Preseason rankings do more damage to people trying to get into the sport at this time of year than anything else does, because it's a predetermined, they were supposed to be number 1. Well, no, let's play through week 4 and then drop some rankings. And college basketball is the exact same way. Number 2, the committee has told us this year and going into this year that we were going to look at how you lost in games that you lost just as importantly. And when we look at the Notre Dame Miami example specifically, and then when your committee chair comes out after your first committee chair had to be removed from his post for getting in a shouting argument about a guy who's on the team playing or not playing at his school. There's no defined. You can tell me what the criteria is all you want, but the Notre Dame, Miami, and where they're at thing, that tells me that you really don't know what a defined criteria is, especially when your chair talks about them like they didn't play on the field against each other. Mm-hmm. There's just no consistent criteria. And I think that's the other part of the problem. Case in point, let's look at this, guys, and we look at, the top 5. It's Ohio State, I think very deserving. I don't think any of us would dispute number 1. Indiana, Texas A&M at 2 and 3. I think you can make a case either way, but you're not wrong either way. The debate is really going to spark new heaters when we get to, is it Georgia? Is it Texas Tech? Is it Oregon that deserves the other bye? Because 2 of those 3 teams are not likely to play for their conference championship. So that's the question. Texas Tech, Oregon, Georgia. T, who deserves the 4th bye?
That's a good question. I think if you were doing this strictly on merit, wouldn't it have to be whomever plays in the conference championship game because they had a better season? I mean, that if you should be rewarded for playing in your conference championship game. The way this system is set up, it penalizes you for playing in your conference championship.
Then if that's the case, then Miami shouldn't be in there.
Oh, I didn't have Miami in my list.
Yeah, I think I remember last year we were talking about this, and when we got to this week, we said, if I remember, we were hoping that the most ridiculous things could possibly happen this weekend, that we were hoping that they would happen. Like, for instance, we want everyone from Michigan to beat Ohio State. We want Texas to beat Texas A&M. We want, Pitt to beat Miami. We want to throw this thing. That's what I want to see. I want to see the world's biggest monkey wrench be thrown into this next week. And because I want to see if imagine if Georgia, Ohio State, and Texas A&M and Miami, what if they all lost? Then what do you do?
Well, and Michigan's beaten Ohio State 4 times in a row. That's not beyond the realm of possibility. No. Texas A&M losing to Texas, I don't think it's going to happen, but it certainly could happen, right? I mean, no, I'm with you, Mac. I want all the chaos because I think we need to break the system for it to get better.
I think that's the right. You're on the right wavelength there. I think what's also interesting when I look at this and kind of see the way it's laid out, and for example's sake, the last team that probably gets in right now as it's currently constructed from the SEC would be Alabama. The first team that doesn't get to come in that as it's currently constructed in the SEC would be Vanderbilt. And that's the interesting thing here. And when we go through all this, and you guys both reference the chaos that we could see take place. When you look at the ACC and the Big 12, and my biggest point of contention is the fact that we sit here and Miami is considered a better team than BYU. I know Tulane right now would get that last spot and be on the road at Texas Tech because of the way it works. But I can't make a case where Miami is a better team than BYU. What's also kind of in place here is, what do we do, assuming that Miami is a placeholder? The chaos scenario I think that works for both of you guys is that Texas Tech plays BYU in the Big 12 title game, and BYU beats Texas Tech. Because I'll ask both of you right now, and I'll start with Mac this time. BYU beats Texas Tech in the Big 12 title game. Does Texas Tech get left out of this thing in place of BYU? Do you think so?
I mean, off of what I've seen, I would have to say no. I mean, if Texas Tech isn't one of the top 12 teams, then there's a problem. So I mean, they have to be in there. Now, who goes out? I mean, I know we're kind of picking on Miami a little bit, and we have to remember at one point Miami was the number one team in the country. It's not like we're
They were
trying
number
to
two. I
bag.
don't think they quite
Oh,
got
they
to
were two.
one.
Okay, all right. So they were right.
Yeah.
So they were right there. But I mean, so it's not like we're talking about a team that is terrible. It just I don't know. I mean, who else are you going to take out? I mean, Alabama. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, yeah.
Well,
I think Alabama's body. I get where you're going, and I think Alabama's body of work, Mac. Before I flip to T here, I think Alabama's body of work, and I think you're kind of in the same spot with me there. Bama's body of work to this point, assuming they don't lose the Iron Bowl, leaves no question that they're, I think, one of the top 12 teams in the country. And Mac, I think you would agree with that.
Yeah, no, I do agree. But like I said, but I also think for Texas Tech, to lose in a game in a league championship game, a conference championship game, should knock them out either.
Yeah, and T, you know what I can see in how Max presented that? Let's say, going back into the chaos bag, BYU beats Texas Tech for the Big 12 title. Texas goes and beats Texas A&M. I think the team that is most like, shit, that's not good for us, actually might be Alabama in that scenario, as much as I think they're one of the 12 best teams.
No, I completely agree with you. It wouldn't really math out here that if Texas was to do that, it really wouldn't math out that would be fair for Alabama. But let's go back to the committee's own language, right? We're going to look at how you perform in games that you lose.
Right.
So basically, who's the better loser? Okay. So who would be the better loser? Miami losing at home to Louisville and on the road to SMU, or Texas Tech losing a conference championship game to BYU? Who's the better loser? Because whoever the better loser is should probably stay in the top. And aren't we really only talking about 11? Because
yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So it's, if that happens, we have to take the committee at their word and look at the quality of your losses.
Yeah, and obviously this is a conversation that could go hours on end just by itself. When we look at this in the grand scheme of things, I think the biggest debate I see, let's just finish with this note. Let's say the season ends completely stock as it is right now. So your 4 is Georgia, your 5 is Texas Tech, your 6 is Oregon. Texas Tech will go to the Big 12 title game and they'll win. Oregon and Georgia will both not play in a conference title game. Mm-hmm. Who gets that 4 spot? And we'll go Mac, TJ, me, and then we'll switch because it's turkey trivia time that Mac's leading. So I want to give him a couple extra seconds to be ready for his show. Mac, who gets the 4 seed out of those 3 teams, assuming everything stays stock right now, and why?
I mean, Georgia. I mean, you can't penalize a team for a game that they're not going to play. We kind of talked about that. I mean, they didn't play it, and now I mean, because then again, you'd have to look at every other team that wins. I mean, where does Notre Dame fall? They don't have a championship game to play in. So maybe they should be somebody that gets. I mean, you're not even a conference, so maybe they need to be bumped down a peg or two because they're not playing in that conference game. So I mean, for me, I would keep Georgia there for that reason.
T.
I would also keep Georgia there. I think Georgia's body of work is it would be Georgia then Oregon. I think, depending on what happened with Texas Tech.
I think what I'm looking at here is I want to see how Oregon plays against Washington. I want to see how Texas Tech plays in the rematch against BYU. And I want to see how Georgia plays at Georgia Tech before I can go this team. Because I think all 3 of them are very, very good in their own rights and all deserving to be there. So I think I'm looking a lot this weekend to see what happens. There's a lot of people, and maybe this comes up in liquid locks or not, but there's a lot of people angling this weekend that think that there's a solid shot here that we get complete and utter chaos. And I agree with that to a certain extent. But I think there's also a lot of people, for some reason, that think Texas is going to knock off Texas A&M. And I don't think Texas belongs in this conversation, period. Let's move on, because we got other stuff to get to. And before we start talking about the NFL and the wild card scenarios, let's do a little trivia, Mac. Let's do a little trivia. We'll get
All
to
right.
spotlight games on Friday's show, but let's do some trivia. And this is the uncomfortable time for me. And again, if you're watching along, we appreciate you. Feel free to comment along as we go here. I'm sure, and I hope, a lot of you will participate in your own right in our draft that's coming up later. But Mac, the floor is yours. I don't have a safety helmet, and I am not sitting down.
Oh, man.
Here's your 10 minutes of glory, sir. Take it away.
Here we go, boys. It's I need you to be thinking about two things. I need you to be thinking about Thanksgiving, and I need you to be thinking about football. So just kind of, that's where we're going. We're going to start. I got 4 different sections for you. We're going to start in section number 1. This is Thanksgiving history. Mike, you're up first. Multiple choice. Stay with me here. What year was the first official Thanksgiving celebrated in the United States? Was it 1621, 1863, 1619, or 1789?
All I heard was a bunch of damn numbers, and I'm looking at my betting card for today. So I feel like Zach Galifianakis right now in the original Hangover. There's just numbers going. So I'm going to say 16 whatever.
1621 or 1619? There was 2.
Oh, you gave me. Oh, great! You gave me 2 back when
I tried to
you were a
confuse even
young
more.
toddler.
Yes.
Great. Let's go with 1619 then. Is that your birth year?
No, 1 year off. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. The correct answer was 1863. No point there for Mike. T, you're up. Again, Thanksgiving history.
No humor from the judging community.
No.
Moving on to the next
We're
question.
moving on. Here we go. The first Thanksgiving was shared between the Pilgrims and what Native American tribe? Was it the Cherokee, the Wampanoag, the Navajo, or the Iroquois?
To what with your hogs?
It was the Wampanoag.
That is correct. T, you're up 1-0. There you go. All right.
Why do you put me up in these against the smartest guy on the show is in the middle?
Hey, listen, we're going to hit all kinds of different ones here, Mike. So just kind of relax a little. Here we go. Question number 2, Mike. You're up again. Number 1. This is now NFL Thanksgiving Football Day trivia. Here we go.
Okay,
Mike,
here we go.
Here we go. Right in your wheelhouse. Here we go. Ready? Which team has played the most Thanksgiving Day games? Do you want a multiple choice, or you just want to give me the answer? Because I know you know.
I'm going to give you the Pittsburgh Steelers, sir.
That is incorrect.
Damn it. That was a trick question a couple weeks ago.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is the Detroit Lions. All right.
Well, does it count if nobody's actually watching them?
Well, no, but here we go. When I saw this one, I thought of you. Thanksgiving Day trivia. Here we go. The butt fumble. Okay, here we go. It fits you perfect. The butt fumble happened on Thanksgiving Day. Who was the quarterback involved in the butt fumble?
Oh, come on.
That would be none other than the great Mark Sanchez.
That is correct. You're taking a resounding 2-0 lead. But it's not over.
Bullshit.
Here we go.
You asked him that question?
T is all things in the butt. So here we go. Question number 3. Thanksgiving food facts. Mike, I'm going to have you go first. A second on this one. T, you're up. Here we go. T, what state produces the most turkeys? Is it California, Texas, Minnesota, or Iowa?
The jokes are writing themselves on this one.
I was going to say, is it Arizona? Because you guys are a bunch of turkeys. I'm going to go with Iowa.
Iowa. I'm sorry. The correct answer on that is Minnesota. Minnesota. So, Mike, here's your chance to cut into the lead. Ready?
to cut into the lead.
Yes, here
Add
we go.
Thanksgiving jokes.
Here
All
we
right,
go. Here we go. Listen to
Somebody
the
needs to
question
get tea another beer. He's in trouble now.
What is the number of pounds of turkey that Americans eat yearly? Okay, I'm going to give you multiple choice. Here we go. Is it 5, 10, 15, or 20? Now, not in a day, not on Thanksgiving, but in a year, the number of pounds do they eat? 5, 10, 15, or 25?
I'm gonna. See, you're a son of a bitch tonight. You know that because turkey's my favorite lunch meat to eat. So, like, I'm thinking, like, how many pounds of turkey do I eat a year? I'm gonna say 10.
We're talking
for the average American.
10. You're so close. The correct
I already
answer,
got it
though, was
wrong. I could tell by that reaction.
15 pounds a year. Here we go. Last one. These points are now triple. So here we go. We are going to play Thanksgiving sports mashup. I'm going to give you a sport. You have to come up with a Thanksgiving term that relates to that sport. Ready? T, you're up since you have the lead.
This is way too much brain power for the Tuesday night show. This is more like
just
a
saying.
Friday show.
I can't even think.
Here we go. Here we go. Sports mashup. T, this happens with turkey, but also on the basketball court.
I'm gonna say a. See, you had me set up for something about the butt, and I couldn't get there fast enough.
Yeah,
so I'm going
seriously,
to say,
you totally baited him into that. So thank you. That's payback for the Mark Sanchez question.
I'm gonna say a stuff.
Yes, excellent. All right, Mike, you need this one. Here we go. And this one is definitely. I know.
Is it worth 50,000 points?
Listen, this is right up your alley because I've seen this in person.
Even Michael got it right, paying attention, watching along too.
Think pumpkin pie and the golf course. Pumpkin pie
when you
in the
hit
golf
it
course.
when you hit it into the shit, because pumpkin pie is the most ass horrible thing I've ever had in my life.
Is that your answer?
Yeah, because I got nothing else.
The correct answer is, and you should know this, slice. We were looking for slice. You're well aware of that. I've seen you play. You're well aware
whether
of slice.
whether you have another thing to add to this contest or not, we're moving on. The NFL has given us some interesting things, guys, and when you're a son of a bitch. When you look at the wild card, and that's where we're going to focus as we go into this weekend. But, we saw a game Carolina team last night play a San Francisco team that honestly didn't play their best offensive game. Their freaking defense. You know what? First of all, see, this is when you start firestorm bullshit. I don't slice. There is no description for what I do. Whatever. You saw a very game. Well, you haven't hit it inside a house. You almost put it through a house. That's a different story for a different day. We saw a game Carolina last night play a San Francisco team that did not play a good game offensively. But what we saw last night from San Francisco was a defensive effort that was a little out of norm. And we talked about this a lot in our previews, our season previews, our NFC West preview. The addition of Robert Saleh back to the 49ers. We've talked about Fred Warner gone, Nick Bosa gone. The Brandon Ayuk situation took a very conveniently awkward turn this week for something that was done a while back. This team's right and still in the mix. And if last night's game was not a microcosm, if you will, about the current state of both conferences' wild card situations, I don't know what is. And I think I really think we're set up down the stretch here as far as the wild card races go for an incredible finish. I also think we're set up for a playoffs that could give us a lot of home dogs, which is a really weird thing.
Well, I mean, all you had to do was, I mean, you look at the game last night, but then look at the game the night before. Like, was anybody like the Rams pretty much laid the lumber to Tampa Bay, and these are two teams in the top 4 right now. So, is anybody afraid of that Tampa Bay team, especially if Baker Mayfield is injured and is only at 50 or 60 or even 70%? I don't think so. So, I think your point is completely valid, especially if that team in the 3rd spot remains in the 3rd spot, because freaking God help us if that happens.
Which team is that, by the way? Just for people.
That would be your Chicago Bears.
My Chicago Bears is true. Mac, what do we make of this? And what happened to your Steelers? Because you sent the group text message, I'm done with the Aaron Rodgers thing.
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago, to be fair. Not last week, obviously, because I wasn't playing. But
yeah, no, I mean, I just don't think that it's moved. Like, I guess that's my word for the day. Move the needle. I don't think he's moved the needle enough. I don't think they're any better. I mean, obviously, they're not any better than they were last year. I mean, this is a this is a team that's in some sort of turmoil. I don't understand. I don't understand what's actually going on in Pittsburgh. I really truly don't. I have so many questions. I don't think Mason Rudolph lost the game. I mean, you can't expect your backup quarterback to come in and just win games for you. I mean, again, their defense has been terrible, and they've been terrible almost every game this year. They're giving up 30, 40 points in every game, and they're going to play Buffalo this week and probably do the same. I know I've kind of joked about it for years, but I'm starting to hear a lot of traction. I heard a lot today of former Pittsburgh Steelers players starting to really get on the framework of what's happening in the Steelers organization and Mike Tomlin. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I think there has to be a change. I know I've said it in the past, and it's been kind of tongue in cheek. And I'm like, everyone says, well, who else are you going to have instead of Tomlin? But at this point, here's the deal. And again, kind of tongue in cheek, I feel as though their playbook is from 1978. There's nothing special about what they do from an offensive standpoint. They don't throw the ball down the field. Everything is short. It's a terrible running game. And here's the thing: their defense is not good. For as much money as they put into their defense, it's not a good. I'll be honest. I mean, do I want them to make the playoffs? Yeah, of course. You always want your team to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs. Not with the schedule they have down the stretch. They have Buffalo. They have Baltimore twice. Those are probably 3 losses. If there's ever been a season that Mike Tomlin needs to be fired after, it's this one. There's just too much there. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't even let Mason Rudolph play this week. I mean, I let Howard play just and see what happens. What do you got to lose? It's heck, they don't throw the ball more than 4 yards down the field anyway. So heck, let them do it. Try them. See what you got.
You know, it's funny, Mac, because you've made that joke, obviously, with us plenty of times. You've said it on the show. It's like their playbooks from 1978. And, you know, we've seen the kind of swim down the river of offensive coordinators over the last handful of years for the Steelers. And since we've been doing this, I've looked at it and I've thought about it more and more. And I came to this when I was watching the game this past weekend. And I heard you on one of our early shows going, it's like their playbooks from 1978. I wonder how much Mike Tomlin is dictating how the offense works in Pittsburgh, because as much as I don't think Arthur Smith has ever been a fit for anything, especially the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh, I almost wonder if Tomlin's saying, hey, I know you're the guy that calls offense, but this is how we're going to run the offense. And like Sunday was the first time that I was like, holy shit, maybe Vegas Mac is not off his rocker here.
Mhm.
Well, and here's the thing: if that's the case, if he's not the one, he's sitting back and watching it. I mean, he can't be happy with what he sees. I mean, he came out and blamed the special teams for their loss on Sunday. Really? I'm like, you have the best freaking kicker in the league, and you couldn't even set up a field goal for him to tie the game. So how is that the special teams problem? I just think there's a bigger issue here. I like I said, who would take his spot? I mean, I don't know. I couldn't even throw a name out at you, but it's. I mean, and people have said it. Gosh, I can't remember who was it with. It was a guy from the Patriots. I can't remember who it was that he did an interview like last year, and he said we knew what the Steelers were going to run. We knew what they were going to do. They're so predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's true. They're predictable now. And here's the thing: I think the whole way the Steelers are was exemplified by their last two possessions. It was they had a fourth down and like two at around midfield, and they didn't go for it. And you're like, you go for it. I mean, that's like the new thing. Who doesn't go for it on fourth down now? And I mean, you had 2 minutes left. You didn't even know if you were going to get the ball back. And so I looked at it. I'm like, you just gave the game away. Now, luckily, they did get the ball back, and it didn't matter. But you could have just kicked that. That was it. Like that's your season. We just punted our season away. It just makes no sense.
Before I give you a chance to comment on this, Mac brought up the analytics and who doesn't go for it on fourth down, and I don't know why this just popped into my head, but you've literally been at this exact spot on a roulette wheel with me before, so I'm going to use this. ESPN analytics remind me of me at like 2 a.m. after an all day of watching March Madness at the roulette wheel when I'm just like, yeah, go. 00s, go. Go. Everything says go. And I think there's something there. A new thing that we're going to do every week on the show, normally on Wednesdays, but we're going to do it tonight, and the guys don't know this, full disclosure. Cody, I see your comment on X about Mike Kafka being the coach of the year. Not if you had Giants-related props this weekend. Anyways, teetering. That's what we're going to talk about. College football, NFL, normally on Wednesdays going forward. Tonight, teetering. Who's on the last spot looking in? And this is a tough one for me because the teetering in the AFC and the teetering in the NFC is actually my preseason Super Bowl prediction, San Francisco and Buffalo. When you look at those two teams who each have their own issues, which one of those teams doesn't even sniff the Super Bowl compared to the other?
Well, I think if you're talking about those two teams, I'm more concerned about Buffalo. I mean, San Francisco is probably going to finish second. They're probably going to make the playoffs in one form or another. And we've seen that team in the past win 3 road games and go to a Super Bowl. We've seen it happen. They did it right down the street the last time. And so when I look at Buffalo, though, I'm waiting for this explosive offense. And we see hints of it. Like they put up 44 against Tampa Bay. The week 1 game was an incredible comeback, but I mean, it's been few and far between for this Buffalo team. And we keep hearing about, Keon Coleman is injured and Khalil Shakir can't catch the ball. And who are they going to this week? And it's these teams are running out of runway here. And you got to make a decision, hence the Brandon Cook signing. You got to make decisions that are going to get you into late January. And I think the Niners at this point are going to be able to work through their problems. Like Brock Purdy's been out for 6 weeks, 7 weeks. They performed admirably without Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's going to figure it out. The Bills, I don't know, man.
Okay, yeah. But here's the thing, though, about the Bills. Look at their schedule. They have Pittsburgh this week, and then they have Cincinnati. And I know Cincinnati will get a bump with Burrows, but then they have the Browns, and then they have the Eagles and Jets. I mean, that's not a hard finish. I mean, the game at New England is going to be a difficult game, and the game against the Eagles. But other than that, they're going to be favored in all those other games. I mean, I don't see how coming down the stretch they don't get at least probably 4 of those games.
Were they favored against the Texans? I mean,
Yeah.
Who?
But the Texans are a little bit different beast. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the Bengals still are having trouble stopping people on a defensive side. The Browns are the Browns, and then you got the Jets.
well, I mean, come on, Mac. You're disrespecting Davy Dimes now. You can't do that.
Those are his Colts. That's his team.
No, it's just I'm not. We wait for these teams, and we've been waiting with another team that I thought you were going to ask me about, but I might have some comments about that on Thursday. We wait for these teams and wait for these teams and wait for. We're at the end of December, starts on Monday. We can't wait anymore. Either you need to perform, or you can go get ready for the draft. Like my favorite team up the road here, they can start getting ready for the draft like 4 weeks ago.
I'm gonna post this again because it made me. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna post this, and then I'm gonna go back to the other one. Yeah, Mac has been all over Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones. Let's go back to this one here. So I'm gonna pull the lens out, and this is probably we got a couple of games we're gonna talk about specifically for this weekend. But let's just do this real quick. This is a Bills fan. Billy V, one of our all timers or day ones, saying that he doesn't think the Bills are going to make the playoffs, and he's a Bills fan. Now, I will tell you from a little bit of pulling the curtain back on Billy V, he is Mr. His nickname for most of us that know him is the Reaper, because the second you're down and you're down and out early, and Mac does this a lot too. Like, oh, we're down 10 in the first 5 minutes, game's over. Screw it, fire everybody. That's what we get. That's what we're getting here. But when we look at the standings here, let's go even further. So I'm going to give you guys the exact 5, 6, 7 in both conferences. You give me the one that's out. We'll start in the AFC, and I'll start Chargers, Jaguars, Bills, 5, 6, 7, 7 and 4 each. I still think the Chargers miss the playoffs. T, which one misses the playoffs, if one does, out of those three?
Oh man, that's a tough one because the Chargers got the automatic W this weekend. I'm going to say the Jaguars.
Mac, which one of those three?
Oh gosh, yeah, Jacksonville. Oh, they still have to play Indianapolis twice.
Yeah, but they'll win the one at home.
Nah, I don't know about that. No, I think
that's a betting nugget. That's one of T's betting nuggets. All right, so flip side, and the interesting thing about the Colts is they play the Niners, they play the Texans twice, and the Jaguars twice still. So there's a lot to be, Texans twice, Jaguars twice, and the Niners once. There's a lot for the Colts with their schedule down the stretch. Yeah. On the NFC side, we don't have the same record, but we've got some interesting kind of, this is where you got to start looking at conference, head-to-head, and stuff like that. So your 5, 6, 7 in the NFC side right now would be Seattle at 8-3, Green Bay at 7-3-1, and San Francisco at 8-4. I think the team that misses out of that group is nobody, because I'm going to go back to my preseason predictions where I thought the Lions were going to miss the playoffs. So I think in the NFC, we have our 7 teams. Where they all finish in coordination with each other, that part I can't tell you. NFC side, T, one of those 3, who's out, if anybody?
I think it's the Packers right now. They're not very healthy, and I think that's going to – I think at this point that's going to play a huge impact. I mean, ask me Thursday at 2:00, and I might have a different answer. But right now, I think it's the Packers.
Yeah. Mac, which one of those 3?
Mike, I kind of lean towards the field because I mean I look at it. It's like who's gonna catch anybody? Carolina? I mean the Cowboys? Minnesota? I mean,
Detroit's the only one that is a flip flop there.
Yeah, I mean, I look at all those other teams. I mean, they're just not going to do it. I mean, it's
I think
it's
I think you might be selling the Cowboys a little bit short, and I
I
think we
think that's
saw.
fair too.
I think we've seen a very emotional reaction to what's happened in their locker room recently, and that can galvanize a team. We've seen it before. We saw it on a Monday night with Brett Favre several years ago, where he had that unbelievable half against the Raiders. I don't think the Cowboys are any slouch at this point. I don't think you can
well,
discount them at all.
let slouch or no slouch. Let's see how they look after the next 2 weeks with Kansas City and Detroit on the schedule.
Oh yeah, once again, ask me
Yeah,
Thursday at
yeah.
4:30. I'll probably get an answer for you.
Well, but here's the other quirk to the Cowboys schedule that I think a lot of people they miss. Okay, so we know the Cowboys just beat the Eagles. We know the Cowboys are playing the Chiefs. And we know the Cowboys play it's the Lions next, right? I don't have it up in front
Yeah,
of me.
Chiefs and Lions.
Okay.
Yeah,
But something to remember here is the Cowboys are playing at home on Thursday, and while they do play at Detroit the following Thursday, they are every year getting that week off between Thanksgiving and they always play that following Thursday. So
right.
I think it's an interesting thing. And if the additions to their defense in Logan Wilson and Quinton Williams continue to play the way they did, so you're saying there's a chance. I wouldn't put I agree with T. Like, as much as I would love to piss on the Cowboys while they're on fire, not piss on them while they're on fire, I think there's still a player here. Go ahead, Mac.
I
Finish
was
us up
gonna say,
here.
what becomes a very, very interesting game is when they're going to play the Chargers in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. They play the Chargers on the 21st. That actually could be a game that determines whether one of those teams goes to the playoffs. I know they're in different conferences, but I mean that could be a very, very important football game.
That's an elimination game, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the exact way to determine it. All right, let's focus on a couple. Let's move through these fairly quickly because we got a draft to do here. So this weekend in the NFL, let's go back to the AFC side and let's go back to those Colts, Max Colts. When we look at this, I remember almost choking to death when you said that, and now we're sitting here and it's as prime can be. So I'll let you have the first word on this here. Texans at Colts. Indy's favored by 4.5. Total 44.5 at the Loud House, the Lucas Oil Stadium this weekend. I think it's an interesting spot here because we've seen Houston really get rolling, and it's a lot basically on that defense that wasn't playing great at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. Texans against your Colts, Mac. Start us off.
Yeah, the Colts, they've lost 2 of their last 3. And even that one game that they did win, they didn't look, great against the Falcons. This is a Texans team, and again, we saw it last week, that is much, much improved. I think this is kind of a statement game for the Colts. I think they've got to pump the brakes and say, okay, where are we? Are we the team that played the first half of the year, or are we this team that played the last couple of weeks? I think this is a gut check kind of week for the Colts. I think it helps that they're at home. I think that'll be the difference in the game, is them being at home.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mac, and I think
go ahead, T.
I think they're embarrassed in the way they played in the second half against Kansas City. They had every opportunity to win that game, and they let it go. And I don't think they're very happy about that. So, no. And remember, in that division, those 3 teams, Colts, Jags, Texans, 1, 2, 3, separated by 2 games right now, and they all have to play each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start us on our official picks here because I agree with exactly what Billy V is saying right here. I think that Texans defense is rallying that team. And I know what a D'Amico Ryans defense does when it rallies a team. I actually like the Texans on the money line here. Mac to TJ, and then we'll go to the next one.
I like the Colts on this one. 4.5 scares me a little bit. But I've been with this team all year, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to take the Colts minus the 4.5.
I am going to take the Texans to cover 4.5, but I think the Colts win by 3 on a late field goal by Michael Badgley. So I'm Colts to win.
Eventually, let's
Colts
go
to
to
win.
Akrish.
Texans to cover.
Let's go to Akrisher. False start on me there. My bad, TJ. Akrisher, the big ketchup bottle. Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Buffalo favored on the road at Pittsburgh by 3.5 here. I don't know what the hell to make of this game, to be honest with you guys, and we'll let Mac go last here so he can make his pick when he assesses the game. I still believe very much in my preseason prediction for the Super Bowl. I really do. Buffalo and San Francisco. This is one of those games that I'm looking at from a Buffalo standpoint to go, hey, I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs. Brandon Cooks, whether he plays this weekend or not, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I've seen the good Buffalo, I've seen the bad Buffalo. Now I want to see the Buffalo I expected to see for the rest of the year. At the same time, I was also really high on the Steelers team. So this is a weird game for me because I'm like, I want to see both of you play your best, but I need to pick one of you guys to win. That being said, if you're going to give me Boswell's leg and a half, I'm leaning a certain way here, but I'm going to let you guys try and talk me out of it. So, T, Bills and Steelers, what do you think before your pick?
I think it's a must-win for Buffalo, and I think it's an opportunity for that offense to get healthy against that not-so-great Pittsburgh defense that Matt keeps talking about. You know, they have the names, but they're just not putting it together. And at this point, Buffalo needs to put up or shut up. Their grip on the division and even the playoffs is slipping away from them.
Mac, your thoughts and a pick.
I've heard too much talk this week, whether it's from Patrick Queen, whether it's from TJ Watt. Like I said, I just think there's too much talk about how things aren't going well on this Pittsburgh. The Steelers don't have an answer. That's the problem. Where do they get their answer from? They've needed a secondary wide receiver. They've had opportunities to get them with guys who've been released in trades. They've yet to do it. Even if Pittsburgh's defense plays well, I don't think they have enough offense to stick with the Bills. Bills minus 3.5.
T, make a pick.
+1. I think the Bills can pull this off. I'm laying the points with them as well.
I am actually going to play this game under 47.5. It's a gotta have, obviously, for both teams. Sounds like Rodgers is going to play from what we're hearing. Sounds like if it would have mattered last week, like playoff wise, he would have played. I love the Allen Rodgers thing, and this is one of those weird weeks, guys. We know this because of the Thanksgiving games where, we don't have that many Sunday games. I think this is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best game on Sunday. I'm going to play the game under. I think we're going to get a little bit of a rock fight. Thanksgiving week is always a goofy week because it's Thanksgiving week. I think we're going to get a rock fight here. I lean a little towards the Steelers, but I'm playing that fine line game of I'll take the 3.5. I think Buffalo still wins. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. I think it could be a rock fight, so I'm going to play it under.
I will agree with you with that. If it's a rock fight, then I think the Steelers win. But I don't think it's going to be a rock fight.
Yeah, no, and I can see where you're coming from on that. And final game, we'll move through this quick because we got a draft to do, and then we got to make a decision if it's the draft, liquid locks, or Ticket Tuesday, what comes first. Rams and Panthers, and people would go, why in the hell are you even talking about this game? Well, we don't know how long Baker Mayfield could be dinged up, if he's going to be out. if he's going to play through, but it's Baker Mayfield, and we know he can. Carolina's very much still in this mix. They needed to get that game last night. Now they're back home where Carolina has looked a lot better at home than they have on the road, which is what you would expect out of a team that's kind of on the come up. The Rams are going all the way across the country on a goofy week, Thanksgiving week, to play the Panthers. LA's favored by 10.5 in Carolina. And while the outcome might have been disappointing last night for Carolina, they still see what's in front of them on their schedule. And for a team that's kind of in the mix here, I think, honestly, the Rams need to be on their shit this week, Mac. What do you think?
I said I'd be all in if the Rams won on Sunday night. They won on Sunday night convincingly. I am 2 feet all in. I am on the Rams train. I think the Rams win this one. Carolina looked terrible last night. I'm all in. I'll tell you what. This is a mini max big spread. I'm going to take the Rams minus the 10.5 on the road. I think they got it.
Vegas Mac throwing his allegiances to the LA Rams. He's going to die a quick and very painful playoff death. What do you think, T?
I think that Carolina is one of those teams that's definitely on the upswing. I think they ran into a San Francisco team that's just better, more experienced, a better defense. I'm not saying that Carolina played badly, but I mean, you saw the youth in Carolina last night. They just don't have the experience. I think going home, that's going to be huge for the Panthers. And I'm taking the 10.5. I think they cover. I don't think they necessarily win, but I think they cover that 10.5. That's a huge number at home.
What is this? A little baby lamb, Cody? I mean, no, it's a little baby lamb. I mean, it's what happens to the Rams in the playoffs, especially the overrated Rams in the playoffs. It's what their defense is so good. It's their offense. Once somebody gets the clue that Devontae Adams has turned into the best goal line running back in the NFL, once somebody figures that out because they've seen it enough, I'm not on this. Maybe talk me into it, guys. Talk me into it. T, you're right there by it. Mac, I know you said if they pulled it off on Sunday, you'd be all in. Before we get to our draft here, talk me into why I should believe in the Rams. I'll start with T and we'll go to Mac.
I can't. I still can't. I thought Tampa Bay came into the game and they were completely overmatched. And I don't think Mayfield was healthy to begin with. And I'm not going to be one of those guys. Mayfield's not making tackles. They can tackle. The Bucs can tackle anybody. That makes your life a whole hell of a lot easier as an offense. I love the chemistry between Adams and Stafford right now, but I'm not convinced that this Rams team is going to be able to go to Philadelphia in January, or this team's going to be able to go to. I can't say it. Nope, I can't say it. Detroit,
Chicago,
and win in January. I'm not convinced yet.
Sell me on the Rams, Mac.
I got you. Listen, in a year of inconsistency, this has been a consistent offense. They're putting up 20-plus points every single week, no matter who they play, win or loss. They're putting up the points, and when you're putting up the points, that's going to make a difference. The defense is better than we think. That the Rams are for real.
Oh yeah, Jared Verse, he's a real deal for sure.
Okay, so there's two things could be true here. This is why I think the Rams are not who everybody thinks they are. Number one, you either lied your balls off to us the entire preseason that Matt Stafford could essentially barely walk, was what we were told. And now he's probably going to be the MVP. I don't want to talk about that because I predicted it, but I didn't bet it. So you either lied your ass off to us that his back was horrible, or the back is eventually going to catch up with him. And I get it. Like, you got Adams, you got Nakua, you've got Kyron Williams, you got a defense that's not giving up a ton of points. But I saw Mac Jones on Thursday Night Football in, quote, whose house? Rams' house. Literally looked like he was walking off the set of The Walking Friggin' Dead and beat the Rams in the Rams' house. So I don't know which Rams team I get all the time. I will agree with you, Mac. They are on that rise of very consistent on both sides of the ball right now. But there's just something about the Rams that I can't get behind just quite yet. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. Mac, I'll give you the final word here because you are Mr. Rams.
We will save you a seat just in case you want to hop on the Rams train. We'll save you a seat.
Oh, you can bet your ass that bus can run me over before I'll hop on that.
All right. Just wait and see.
Thursday is... Hey, wait. We got some love here, and we appreciate the love all the time. There you go. All right. We all know what's coming up. No show tomorrow because we're prepping for this. Friday, as I said, special edition. Early ass if you're on the West Coast. 8 a.m., 9 a.m. in Arizona, 10 o'clock in the next part, and then 11 o'clock in the morning in New York. Football Friday, we're going to set you up for what, if you haven't looked at the schedule yet for Friday, it is an absolutely incredible day of football on Friday. That being said, Thanksgiving is Thursday, and we've got something special for you guys this year. Not this. We're not delivering that to all your houses. Normally, we would give you a video for every game, but we're trying to take some extra time off. So we are going to create the first ever Moss Cornucopia play on Thursday. You're going to get a video. You're going to see me. You're going to see TJ. You're going to see Mac. And maybe a special guest. Each game, we're going to have you covered. Side or a total and a touchdown. So the touchdown's your turkey, the side, total, whatever your sides. That's how we're going to go through Thursday. So tonight, as we look into Thursday, these are your typical Thanksgiving foods. And guys, I looked for a picture that would show everything, not make us super tiny. This is better for the viewing audience. But I think it's time that we actually state our case and throw it down here in front of our audience for the first time. And we're going to have a Thanksgiving food draft. But I ask you guys this. What do we do? Thanksgiving food draft, Ticket Tuesday, or Liquid Locks? TJ, where do you want to start?
Let's do the draft. Let's do it.
Mac?
Yeah, the other ones we can get through quickly. Let's do the draft and we'll go from there.
All right, so the first pick in our Thanksgiving food draft, and feel free to chime in as you're watching along. We'll get as much of them on there as we can. So, TJ, you get 4 picks. This is a snake-style draft. It is Thanksgiving in the TJ house. Don't pick turkey, you lame ass. What's the one thing, TJ, that has to be on TJ's Thanksgiving table? Your first pick.
It's got to be the mashed potatoes. That's the number one thing. And I am in charge of the mashed potatoes, so it gets done. They are great in this house.
All right. Mac, you know why I appreciate Vegas Mac? We give Vegas Mac a lot of shit. But what I appreciate is I didn't ask him to do this, and I can already tell what he's doing. He already wrote down the first pick from TJ there. Go ahead, Mac.
All right.
You're going to see a bunch of suggestions pop up as we're going through. Keep firing them away. We'll put them up. But Vegas Mac's first round pick in the Gotta Have It Thanksgiving draft.
It's Gotta Have It stuffing with no crap in it. Just get it from the box, put some water in it and some butter, season it up. That's it. I don't need all the fancy shit into my stuffing. Just water it up, baby.
Hey,
I want it moist.
This is legit, though. I don't need the fancy shit in my stuffing.
No.
You got back-to-back followers there, Cody and Michael checking in. They agree with you. All right. So that means my first pick here at the end of the first round of the I absolutely have to have it Thanksgiving draft. It's green bean casserole 8 days a week.
God.
Hey, I don't need any freaking comments from the peanut gallery. Green bean casserole for me. And we went out of order there, which is funny because I'm the one that created the order. So we're going to go back to what the original order was. And Vegas Mac, it is your pick here.
Tia, though I love your mashed potatoes, I'm going to have to say that instead... Ooh, rolls. I didn't think... Oh, yeah, rolls could be up there. Yeah, I'm a sweet potato guy. It's got to be
Make the
sweet
pick,
potatoes.
Minnesota Vikings. The time's going to run out.
Sweet potatoes, baby. Sweet potatoes.
Oh, sorry.
Says the Green Bay casserole man.
So technically it's my turn now because I screwed up the order the first time. So I'm going to show this comment, which I find very offensive. I do not do Italian Thanksgiving. There's some other meats that I'll bring in on Thanksgiving. But the next one for me, macaroni and cheese.
This is Thanksgiving.
You don't have Who doesn't have macaroni and cheese on Thanksgiving?
The Pilgrims.
It's not a Kraft macaroni and cheese, bro. I don't care what the Pilgrims did. I wasn't there with them. We will not forget. Look at the three of us. Desserts will never not be forgotten. Okay. Now we got a comment. That's a hate comment in the messages. All right, T, your second pick, which is the final pick of the second round.
Give me the cranberries, baby. Give me the cranberries. And none of that canned stuff where you plop it out from the can. They got to be the real deal Holyfield. Give me cranberries.
Ugh. Hey, TJ, guess what? It's a snake draft in the original form that we're trying to do this after I screwed up the first round. So, TJ, you get another pick right here.
Oh, well, then I've got to go with a nice, very thick, very delectable gravy.
It's a family show here, bro.
That goes with all of the things.
A thick, delectable gravy. Good. Go over to TJ's house for the Playboy TV Thanksgiving, apparently. All right, my next pick here. And you know what? This is why I don't like comments all the time. Because, yes, normal people do mac and cheese. I am going to... Okay, I'm going to show this just because it's fucking hilarious. All right, my next pick here. I'm going to go a little off the board here. I'm going to go with black olives. Because you got to have the snacks before dinner. Put out a little veggie plate.
Do you put them
out
on
a
your
little...
fingers?
Oh, hell yeah. I've put them on my fingers my entire life. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Mac, to finish the third round of the Thanksgiving draft, it is all you.
This is a combo deal. I'm going with the...
No.
Yeah, no, it goes together. It goes together. It's a combo.
I want turkey and I want ham. It goes together.
No. It's squash and turnips.
What the actual... Hey, T, I appreciate that you mouthed it. I know I say it more, but squash and turnips?
Yes.
Were you literally there with the Pilgrims?
Yes, that's what we had. Squash and turnips. We didn't have mac and cheese. We certainly didn't have green bean casserole.
Squash and turnips. Jeez. I don't even know how... You know what? I don't have to respond to it. TJ, it's your pick. The sad thing is Mac gets the... Where are we at? We're on the third round, right?
We all got three. We had the fourth round.
That was your third.
That was my third, yes.
Oh, God. Mac gets the final pick. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right, T, you're up. No,
right.
I'm up. See, I know I almost just did it again. I'm gonna double down here. I'm gonna go with dressing. Not stuffing. Dressing. They are... Don't tell me they're the same. You will never eat Thanksgiving in this house if you tell me they're the same. Dressing, which doesn't go up the... Hey, speaking of the thing we started the show with, dressing doesn't go up the butt play part of the bird. TJ, you have the final pick in this round.
Give me, and they have to be the King's Hawaiian rolls. Give me the King's Hawaiian rolls.
Okay, no. What? No, they are not the same thing.
Dressing
when you
is
have
around,
a vegetarian that you live with,
stuffing is inside.
you know the difference. All right, King's Hawaiian rolls. All right, final pick, final round. TJ, you get to go first. I got the order right 3 of the 4 times.
All right. Well, in this house,
this could be a dessert. This could be your walk-off, mic drop, whatever you want to call it.
In this house, we do enchiladas. So we're going with enchiladas.
I don't hate it. Are they, well, what kind of enchilada? Are they turkey enchiladas?
Well, no, they can't be turkey enchiladas because you can't make those until Friday. So they've got to be like chicken enchiladas.
All right. So TJ goes off the board with enchiladas. I'm going to go with... My name's on the marquee. I can do whatever I want. Every dessert for Thanksgiving other than pumpkin pie. Because pumpkin pie and candy corn, the easiest way to eat both of those is dump them right into your effing trash can. So any dessert that's not named pumpkin pie is my final pick. Jamarcus Russell, purple drink kind of thing. Mac, you get the final pick of the draft here. Send us off on a good one. This is actually a fair point before you start because talk about our audience knowing who they're watching. Yeah. Pumpkin pie. Hell no. Vegas Mac, you get to send the draft off into tomorrow.
Well, since you took all the desserts, I'm going to cross.
No,
that off
you
my
can have
list.
the other desserts. I just wanted to take a pumpkin pie shot. That's all.
Okay. I'm going to go with corn on the cob. I don't ever have corn on the cob, but it sounded good.
Wait, what? We're doing a draft. You just drafted somebody you wanted to play for, like, the other team in your town. You didn't even care if they played for your team. Are you stashing corn on the cob in France?
No, maybe. I mean, I wanted to go with apple crisp. I mean, because you got to have apple crisp. But I feel like since you took all the desserts, so, corn on the cob. It was there.
Do you care to comment to this final?
No. It was. Oh. I mean,
were you amazing. At the first Thanksgiving? People are asking. They want to know.
I was at the first, and there was no green bean casserole, or there was no dressing.
Oh, you son of! I knew he was going to do that. All right. Anyways, let's get into what are we doing next? Ticket Tuesday or Liquid Locks?
Let's do Ticket Tuesday. Oh no, let's do Liquid. Yeah, let's do Liquid Locks.
Oh, Liquid Locks. All right, Liquid Locks. T, I'm going to let you start Liquid Locks this week. Then I'll go second because Mac has to go last.
Indiana, Houston over 44.5. You're going to see the battle of Davy Dimes and Danny Dimes. It's going to be epic. And I'm taking Vanderbilt plus 3.5 over Tennessee.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm hesitant on my first one, but I'm hoping for some not appropriate weather for this time of year. Maybe enough just to, facilitate some offense. Miami and Pitt in the ACC. Since we're talking about Miami all week, I like this game. I actually got it over 50.5 when I first bet it. It's now up to 51.5. I'm still a little comfortable there. Over that, I get a little more uncomfortable. And my second pick, because it's got to be a 2-teamer for me, is TJ's Chicago Bears on Black Friday football plus 7 at the Eagles, who are just in shambles right now. It sounds funny to say it, but the Eagles can find a way to make shambles out of something. So I'm taking the Bears plus 7. I really think Ben Johnson's got something cooking there in Chicago. Vegas Mac.
All right, it's Thanksgiving weekend. Families around, so I've got the house divided 3 picks. Here we go. House divided. I've got ASU plus the 1.5 over the Wildcats, the Kitty Cats. I'm going to take, this one hurts, but I'm going to take Syracuse on the money line over the BC Eagles. And I'm taking the Rebs minus 7.5 over that team up north.
See, that's not the way it gets repeated in TJ's house. TJ, do you have a prayer in the world to paint the cannon blue this year?
No, not a chance. Not a chance.
That's a fair statement. I can't believe that Arizona is actually favored at Arizona State because I don't know what most people have been watching those two teams compared to each other. I've seen Arizona on the road, not really looking at it. All right, it is the holiday season. It is a time for giving thanks and also a time for giving. So if you're banding around, and TJ hasn't actually experienced this yet. Vegas Mac, where does your tightwad wallet take us to watch some football this week?
Oh man, this is great. We're going to start off on Friday. We're going to go watch 2 teams that are not going to be playing for a national championship. Utah at Kansas. We can get you in for as low as $7 buckarooskies. $7. That's pretty darn good.
That's a TJ special right there. But I know you have more.
I'll tell you what. I do have a little bit more. I have a pro game that we can go to, but let's talk about one more college game. This is a college game where you could have a team that could go and play for a national championship. And I can get you in for just $1 more, $8.
I know where you're going.
We're going to Charlotte against Tulane. Tulane's $8 gets you into that bad boy.
That would be a hell of a party on Thanksgiving. I know that would be a hell of a party. Bourbon Street Thanksgiving $8 ticket. You wouldn't even remember that. See, TJ says, take my money. You wouldn't even remember being there. Give me a pro game before we get out of here for some final words.
All right, I got a pro game for you. $10, Jacksonville and Tennessee. $10 to go see that one. But T, you're going to need to really dig in. We got 2 top winners this week. Ready? 2 top winners.
Uh-oh.
In college. And no, it's not. Neither one are Cal or Stanford. Did we ever find out about that? Why there was so much last week?
No, I never got confirmation from the Bay Area people. Maybe it was because they knew Justin Wilcox was going to be fired after the game. So that might have been the reason why tickets spiked. Because he got fired.
Here we go. College, $383. I got 2 games at $383. You know one, Alabama, Auburn. That one's one of the big ones. The other one, $383, Texas A&M and Texas. Those are your big ticket items for this week. On the pro side, almost as much. TJ's Chicago Bears at the Philadelphia Eagles, $327. And that was an
on his damn face every time we call him that.
I can't remember. Was that an extra large? I couldn't remember.
There's still 6 weeks left. I still have a chance.
Okay. Just accept your reality and deal with it. All right, Mac, any final words tonight before this holiday? And don't forget, we will have a cornucopia play for you on our social channel Thursday morning. We'll cover all 3 games. We're going to give you 3 touchdown scores, 3 picks from the 3 games. Black Friday football special, 8 a.m. on the West Coast, 9 a.m. in Arizona, 10 a.m. in the place next to Arizona, time zone wise, and 11 a.m. in New York. Mac, any final words here?
If you're traveling, be safe. Remember, there's no hockey anyway, so no reason to rush.
DJ, I always feel bad when I say this, but follow that one up.
I'm going to take my $383 and go down to Bevmo and buy 14 cases of beer to watch Geno Smith get sacked 19 times by the Chargers.
It's fair point. With his new offensive coordinator, who is an old offensive coordinator, Greg Olson, again. No, you're not saying things.
Jeez.
Seriously, from everybody here and everybody that participates, watches, tells their friends already, we appreciate the hell out of you. And in this time of Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. It's always a rough time of year. It was my mom's favorite holiday when she was here with us. And I find myself as we get farther in life here making sure that I just simply say thank you. So to my two guys on the screen, to everybody behind the scenes, and all of you out there that continue to participate and support us, we can't thank you enough. It's a time for thanks for everybody on the screen. I'm Mike. Black Friday football, 8 a.m. on the West Coast, 11 a.m. on the East Coast. We'll be here. Enjoy your holidays and be safe, y'all. You know the drill.